Black Ops 6 Season 3 is supposed to be a big step in the right direction for the cheater situation. At least that's what developers are saying. We're going to go ahead and dive right into this though. If this is your first time here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Feel free to light up the comment section as you go along. Now, alongside Phantom Overlay, 5 more Call of Duty cheat developers have been shuttered. Activision previously committed to pursuing legal action against cheat providers, leading several to fold after receiving cease and desist from Call of Duty publisher. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has struggled against the weight of an influx of cheaters, particularly in the game's ranked play modes. With the launch of Season 2, however, Activision committed to increase efforts to take the developers of those cheats offline. Now, Activision is declaring victory over 5 more cheat providers who have been forced to shutter services after receiving cease and desist from the publisher. Windows Central sources have confirmed reports on social media posts from lunchtime that cheat services GC Aim X, Suave ZZs, Moneyman, and Solo Queue services have been disrupted in recent weeks. Cheat provider GC Aim X announces impending shutdown on his website with the simple red bar notification reading GC Aim X is shutting down. Clicking the notification pops up a longer, more detailed explanation of the 5-year-old service's closure. Now let's zoom out for a minute here and talk about some things that has been going down behind the scenes. I want to give another shout out to Derrick for the additional insight. Always a pleasure of chatting it up with Derrick. Now, as far as the banning system, both shadow bans and perma bans, this system has reverted back to its staple for the latest update, where if you were banned on one title, you were banned across all titles that were underneath the COD HQ. For a minute there, the ban system had it to where you were only banned on the specific COD you got banned on. Now, this is back to how it was initially. Meanwhile, external tools for COD are thriving, both in sales and functionality. So things like DMRs and Chronuses are still in full effect. They are still in full swing, and nothing has been done about it. And from what Derrick says, it seems like cheat providers are mocking the anti-cheat system at this point. On top of that, we have touched base on this a few times on the channel. It turns out that Ricochet anti-cheat is entirely run by AI. No human oversight involved. The player base has significantly dropped as well, but that is common knowledge for a lot of you. But it is only 20,000 concurrent players compared to 500,000 at launch. 20,000, that's less than the people that live in my hometown. And allegedly, over 60% of the player base in Black Ops 6 are cheating. This is flat out ridiculous, man. It's also worth noting that cheat providers have already adapted their software to counter the anti-cheats updates. A minor one, though, suggests that nothing substantial had actually changed. Now, Derrick had the chance to talk with the main developer, and he asked them, why is it so easy to bypass the anti-cheat system? And his response was, it's so simple now that I don't even have to try anymore. They roll out these weak updates to their so-called kernel level drivers, which barely change anything on my end. A small tweak to my code and everything is undetected again. If I was a cheat developer, I would be laughing at Ricochet and Activision as well. And these developers are making $200,000 to $300,000 a year. Now, just off of the strength of those numbers, do not think cheating is going anywhere in Call of Duty, guys. Not for 1 second. Yes, that is the narrative that is trying to be created here, but trust me, cheating is not going anywhere. It'll probably get worse. So just like at the launch of Black Ops 6, where developers were so confident that they were going to be taking down cheaters left and right, this right here coming up in Season 3 is just a gimmick, just like that was. It sucks 100%, I know, but let's go ahead and get back to the blog post here and let's keep things moving. A post by the admin account Ariel shared that the domain and platform were available for purchase, but the site would be disabled as of March 19th. There was no plans by AimX to shutter existing services, and currently purchased cheats will continue working until those keys expire. These cheats included aimbot features and hitbox detection cheats. While existing cheats will continue to function for the time being, AimX claims there will be no updates or additional cheats released for Call of Duty in the future. Suave services, who have been providing Call of Duty unlock tools for Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6 and Warzone, was also the target of a cease and desist from Activision. Unlike the other cheat services, Suave decided to forego a love letter to its cheat community. Suave services instead opted for a quick Discord post that it will be cooperating with Activision to stop operations and will drop any cheat services of software tied to Activision or Call of Duty products. The provider's social media accounts have been wiped of content. Now, ZZ Services also announced its plans to discontinue offering cheats for Call of Duty via a Discord post as well. A Discord user by the name of Mankey shared the team's plans to no longer provide support, updates, or further services to products related to Activision or Call of Duty following receipt of a formal letter from Activision. the Discord user Moneyman posted to the Moneyman Service Discord an announcement that Moneyman Services will be shutting down for good because of a cease and desist from Activision as well. The provider announced that it will stop selling all Call of Duty cheats as of March 15th. And by the way, I did not know all of these freaking cheat providers were even a thing. At first, I was thinking guys were just running one cheat on the computer and kind of just letting it rock that way. Some people were paying for literally all of the services that we are touching base on in this video, and that is insane-o work to me. Now here's another one here. Solo queue services announced that it will be also shut down after receiving a cease and desist. Many solo queue social media accounts were wiped following the announcement, and the server was reportedly shut down. Now, a couple of things here. I'm sure a lot of these guys have been here before, and if they haven't been in that situation before, they saw this coming from a mile away. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if all of these cheat developers got together and started this whole new powerhouse worth of cheats. Activision's efforts to clamp down on cheaters appear to be ramping up ahead of Season 3 launch of Verdansk for Call of Duty Warzone. Season 2's content plans were adjusted in order for Treyarch and Raven Software to work on overall gameplay improvements after Season 1 was marred by failing anti-cheat efforts. Service outages for Ricochet anti-cheat was to blame for at least some of the failed integration between Warzone and Black Ops 6. Dude, that is the biggest lie I think I've heard all year long. They are seriously trying to blame this on service outages. How about this shit just didn't freaking work? Or, and it's not working because there are no humans on the team and it's all freaking robots. That is a ridiculous statement if you ask me. Nah, bro. Ultimately, the Call of Duty team allowed console players to opt out of crossplay with PC players in order to minimize exposure to cheats. However, the option still ignored the plight of ranked players on PC who weren't cheating but would still continue to be exposed to those who were. With any luck, shutting down providers will cut down on player exposure to cheaters at the source, allowing for a better player experience when Verdansk launches in Season 3 on April 3rd. Now, all of these cheating companies are planning on shutting down, whatever the case, but expect for all of these companies to be rebranding. If not rebranding, like I said a minute ago, expect for all of them to kind of team up and maybe they'll just make one big Goliath cheat company. And then they'll probably end up doing the same thing again and again and again, as much as they need to. Again, think about this. A lot of these guys are making 6 figures. They're not just gonna stop doing this. And by the way, that tactic is not uncommon in the cheap development scene. Rebranding can kind of let these developers duck and dodge some legal scrutiny because Activision has been actively pursuing these cases and implementing measures to combat cheating, including the Ricochet anti-cheat system and legal actions against repeat offenders. But we see how that's going. It's just gonna be a constant game of cat and mouse. And as sad as it is, Activision does not care nearly as much as they're trying to make us think, man. But I would assume a simple fix would be either hire some humans and put them on the Ricochet anti-cheat team, or just close a deal with the new anti-cheat system because Ricochet is straight up not working. And my take is Activision allowing console players to turn off crossplay, in my opinion, was their way of throwing in the towel and letting us know this anti-cheat system isn't doing shit. We don't want to spend any money, so we'll just give you this feature. Although I do think console players should have this option anyway for multiple different reasons, why did it take for the cheating situation to become so rampant for developers to even consider this? What's your take on this? I know it's just laughable at this point, but let us know what you think down below. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for sticking around. Here's 2 more for you on the screen right here. And consider subscribing if you dug the video you just watched. Catch you all on the next one.